Welcome to the Business After Hours, where the ties loosen, the suit relax, and we talk business without the boardroom. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's dive into the world of business after hours.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Business After Hours podcast. Here with my co-hosts Jared and Hayden. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. I will say my name is Haddon, so I'm gonna give
Haddon,
you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, all good.
Beautiful. Haddon, all right. We're here with Haddon. Jared, how you doing?
It was a good week. Veterans Day was Monday, so that's always a
Thank you
good
for your
time.
service, Jared.
I appreciate it. I think, what service did you serve in, Haddon?
Yeah, so I was in the Air Force. Joined the
Okay.
Air Force right out of high school. But I didn't join like the active duty Air Force. I joined the Air National Guard. Was in for 12 years, but got hired as an active duty AGR for 8 years. So I did 8 years active duty, 4 years actual guard.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
cool. Yeah, I've
Awesome.
heard good things about the AGR stuff. So
Yeah, it was honestly a great fit. I didn't have to move to multiple bases like a lot of people have to do within the military. I got to stay in Louisville, Kentucky, for my whole tenure in the Air Force, but it was kind of best of both worlds. You get the pay, the benefits, but also get to stay at home and not have to worry about traveling or anything like that.
It's
absolutely.
awesome. Well, what job did you have in the military?
I was security forces,
Okay.
so military cop on the Air Force side. That always interested me because I wanted to be a cop on the civilian side for as long as I could remember. And so, graduating high school, I obviously knew that I couldn't go into being a cop right after. I needed to be at least 21 and everything. So, that's what started leading my thinking towards the military. I was honestly just going to join the Marines right out of high school, but my mom talked me out of it, introduced me to a couple of guys that she knew that were in the Air National Guard locally and everything. And because I love my mom and respect my mom, I went that route out of love for her, and it turned out to be a good one. I wish that I did a little bit more stuff while I was in because I've always had that mindset and drive to pursue higher things within that kind of stuff. But it's just not what the Lord had for me in that time of life, I guess.
When did
Absolutely.
you get out?
I got out 2021, right?
Okay.
Right after COVID. I didn't have to worry about uh, getting the mandatory COVID shot within the military because I was already processing out and everything. So that's how I remember it because all my friends were trying to
What a
debate.
memory, right?
Yeah. That's, that's how I remember getting out. Yeah.
And then what did you transition to coming out of the military?
So right out of the military, I actually went into medical sales. It was a lower level position, but I still got my hands dirty within the sense of learning how territories work, how the medical field works, how hospital works. I worked in minimal invasive surgeries.
Mhm.
I worked in the operating rooms where I actually got to see a lot of interesting things and got to learn a lot of cool things that I didn't necessarily think I would be able to experience. Kind of had the idea of like an operating room being super quiet, meticulous, and everything, but it was actually kind of interesting. A lot of doctors prefer like crazy music or making a
Yeah.
lot of like it was just something that I expected from like the TV shows or the movies, and it just turned out to be something completely different. And it was a good time. So I did that for 2 years. Honestly, just did not necessarily like the sales world per se, more so the hospital world. Felt like a lot of things were just overpriced. A lot of things weren't necessary. A lot of things like I didn't like the business aspect of hospitals. And so I got out of that and moved to Atlanta, Georgia in 2022 and joined what I'm in now in the home health industry. Actually was with a company and then separated from that. And that's when I started my own thing.
Okay. Now tell us about the company that you have started.
Yeah, so I work in home health, where I help elderly get in-home services that meet nursing home level of care. So I'm actually licensed through the state of Georgia under their Medicaid elderly disabled and waiver program. And what we do is work through their Medicaid department. And so anybody who qualifies for that SSI level of income, we can help with them getting services within their home. To people who not necessarily could afford nursing homes or things of that nature. So it's a really great program that people can take advantage of and be able to receive some services, such as like getting aid that comes into the home, maybe for a certain amount of hours, certain amount of days, so that they can relieve their loved one to be able to do whatever they need to, but also still get the care that they need. Or we can help family members get paid for those services that they're already doing within the home, which is a really good program that kind of got started during COVID. So because a lot of during that time, elderly didn't want people outside of from their home taking care of them. So that was a really cool program that got implemented around that time to allow people to have some familiar faces within their home, but also get recognized for already the hard work that they're doing by getting a little bit of pay. Then we also kind of offer other services such as like home delivered meals, life alerts if they're prone to falling, and even personal care homes if they need some more attentive, more care in that way. So we have a team of nurses. We're about a team of 31 people now. Wow. We have a team of nurses and social workers, and we stretch all the way across Georgia and hopefully expanding into new states in 2025. That's the plan. That's the goal.
Congrats on that.
What has been like the biggest difficulty with getting started with your own business in that?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. Obviously you have the finances part where you got to find investors to be able to help out start something. For that aspect, it made it even more difficult because when you're talking about governmental work, people don't want to do that because usually things take more time and are longer. As we all know, being in the military, it's not the most efficient process in the world. Things are usually slow when the government is involved in that capacity. So that was definitely a hurdle in that sense. But luckily, unfortunately, we were able to find somebody who believed in us in that way to get us going, get us started. But I would say for me, it was more so personally the imposter syndrome of it all, meaning I never necessarily expected or anticipated me starting a company ever in my entire life. And honestly, just kind of got forced into it and the Lord just kind of opened up that door. But I always tell people that going into the military and being in as long as I was always just used to just doing what I was told, being where I needed to be, looking a certain way, doing a certain thing, and just honestly following the standard operating procedures of everything. Like never had to worry about being creative, never had to worry about being innovative, never had to worry about being salesy or anything like that because everything was. I knew what my day looked like every single day. And then I got into medical sales. And again, that was just another person telling me what I needed to do, what I needed to say, what I needed to look like. And it was a pretty easy transition for me because it was the same pitch or same conversation as always. And then got into the home health aspect when I moved to Atlanta. And it was, again, just a number two, somebody telling me exactly how to perform and tell everybody else. So when I had to stretch myself and think of ways to make things better, to make things look more appealing, to market, to talk to people, to sell, to whatever had to be, build an actual organization. That was just something that I just never anticipated me doing ever, especially when I come from a home where my dad told me that you stay in a job for 20, 25 years, you retire out of it. Your resume looks bad when you're popping from different job to different job. You don't look marketable. So I always just had the mindset of, hey, $50,000, $60,000 a year, you made it. You're doing great in life. You're in a job for 20 years, got your retirement building, you're crushing it. And then when I moved to Atlanta, I saw a whole bunch of entrepreneurs and people my age, stepping out in faith and just doing something big. Was appealing to me, but still never thought it was going to be me until it happened. Until it happened. But I do credit a lot of the military helping me.
Sure. Yeah, probably got you a lot of discipline, huh?
Oh my goodness. And then just discipline, learning resiliency in a different way, knowing that like, one barrier isn't life or death. Like I can get past it as long as I just continue to put my head down and grind it out.
Right.
This doesn't make things easy, but I learned from the military that resiliency aspect, that things don't come easy. You just got to push forward and give it all you got.
Now, did you have help, with getting started with your business, or partners or anything like that?
Yeah, so I have two business partners, who collectively we probably have over a decade of experience in this industry. Um, Leaving the last company that we left because of just a lot of mishandling of things and a lot of integrity things being in question and everything. So I just flat out quit. I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have anything in mind at all. In fact, I was actually kind of pretty mad because I had only been in Atlanta for a year and a half, and I thought that this was going to be something that I was in for quite a while. And here I am with no idea what I'm going to do next. And I was jobless for about a year and a half because of it, and working in just a bunch of odd jobs, trying to figure out how to make it, what to do. And about 3 months into that joblessness, one of my business partners came up to me. He's like, "Why don't we just try? Why don't we just do this?" And again, that just never really was a occurrence of mine. I at the time I had applied for 200 plus jobs through like Indeed or LinkedIn or whatever website allowed me to try. I didn't get a single bite. I had nobody reach out to me. I had nobody interested. The job market is hard. And so I just said, let's do it. Let's try it. And that's what started the process for us to be able to get the process going. And everything was him coming up to me and being like, we can do this.
What's the biggest struggle within your business? Like just a day, like to grow it, or what's been the biggest struggle? Like continuing your business? Is it the government red tape? Is it employees? Is it?
Yeah. Man, we've been super, super blessed. Like I said, we've been in business for not even 2 years, and we're pretty much across Georgia. We have the fastest growing case management company in the state of Georgia right now. Client wise, we've been very blessed. The hurdle that we constantly face is making sure people feel seen and heard within the workplace. Leadership, as we know, you have to lead everybody as an individual. It's hard to lead them in a mass and still create excitement within the company and create continuity with the company, because at the end of the day, somebody's not going to feel cared for, and that dampers the culture that we're trying to build. So trying to lead people as individuals to make them feel like they're a part of the collective. And each generation is different. The workplace is completely different in today's world, where we have 5 different generations that are in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And so each generation has a liking to how they like to be led. And I'm 31, almost 32 years old, and I have people on my team who are in their 60s all the way down to 22 years old.
Yeah.
And there's a book that I really like called A New Kind of Diversity, and it just explains the different generations that are in the workplace right now and how to kind of cultivate that relationship with them. So for me, it's that and building up leaders and not managers. I've been learning here lately that building a good leader is a leader that can build leaders and not managers.
Sure.
And from the military, one of the things that I really was not a big fan of is that one of the core values in the Air Force is excellence in all that you do, right? But not necessarily that core value was always done within the military. And that's something that I want to bring in here. And so I can be intense in that way, but it's because I don't want to be like everybody else. We're not like everybody else. Sure. And if we're going to continue to grow like we are, and our growth is a testament to that excellence, is us continuing to hold ourselves accountable and looking ourselves in the mirror and asking ourselves on a daily basis, am I doing what's best for the people? Because the people that we serve a lot of their lives are depending on these services, like literally. And so it's creating that image in each employee's mind that what they're doing is making an incredible difference in each and everybody's lives, and helping them not to just see it but believe it. And that, so that's a constant reiteration of conversations. And I have managers as well that do a great job of helping that. But one thing that I want to always do is not separate myself as the CEO from everybody else. I want to be accessible to help them to understand, because we're still building that foundation, and we want that foundation to be solid for years to come.
Sure.
So when looking at all of this, like, what's been your greatest success? Like, what has really made you stand out from the others?
Well, like I said, government work is usually slow. And in government work, you're going to have companies or people that have been around the game for a long time and they haven't adapted to the changes, right? And so, like I said, we're a year and a half as a company. We'll be coming up on our 2 years, early 2025, and we're competing against companies that are doing over $1 billion in revenue and been around for 25 plus years. But what we're seeing is that just because they've been around for a long time doesn't mean that they have the best processes, right? And I'm not one of those people that say processes are what makes you a better team or a better company than other people. But as we know, processes can make things more smoothly, right? Mm-hmm. So we've implemented a lot of AI. We've implemented overseas hires. We've implemented a CRM platform that helps organize all of our systems to where it has a workflow management that allows people to know what to do each and every time for every single situation. And again, I think I got that from the military, because I was used to writing so many SOPs and everything that of step by step, like if this happens, you do this. If this happens, you do this. And I just took that mindset and created it in an online platform where my whole desire is somebody who is fresh or somebody like you all logged into our system and would know what to do. You may not know what everything means, but you know what to do.
Right.
And that's really helped streamline things, because one of the things I always harp on is making people feel seen, heard, and cared for. And that goes with our relationships on people that we work with as well, because if people are emailing us asking us a question, they're used to it taking maybe 3-4 days for somebody to respond to that email. And I have a strict 24-hour policy that you'll get an email within us in 24 hours. And even if we don't know the answer, we tell them that we're at least looking into it and then following up with them. And that's been a huge separator for us in this business, because people just feel like they're at least being taken care of.
Sure.
Compared to these mega corporations that we're competing against, they can't get an answer for quite a while.
I can see that. Yeah.
Is that communication has been a huge separator for us in that way.
It's good. What are some things that if somebody's hearing you talk, hearing about your company, they don't know where to start, they don't know what to do, what are some steps that people can take to either, if they're in Georgia, contact you or whatnot? What's some beginning steps if you're in another state kind of deal?
Yeah, so obviously you have to be in the state of Georgia to be able to get these type of services, but we're looking to either expand into Alabama, Indiana, or North Carolina next year. But as far as Georgia related, what they can do is they can just go on our website, Second Chance Case Management, Google us. We're all over. And there's a phone number or a link in there that you can reach out to our intake team. His name's Win Smith. He's the head of our department there, and he can help you step by step on how to apply for the program. If something is you're in question as far as Medicaid related and whether or not you qualify for Medicaid, we also help with that process as well, to at least get the process started for you to get Medicaid approval, then to be able to apply for the program and everything. So yes, if you just go to our website, secondchancecasemanagement.co, not .com, .co, you'll be able to see us on there and see our phone number and be able to reach out to us in that way.
And so these services that you provide, it's getting financial help. Is it getting material help? Is it getting like in a facility, or what kind of help do you provide for them besides obviously Medicaid, like you covered?
Yeah. So again, that's all listed on our website as well. But we help with placement within a home. If you need help within getting a personal care home where you maybe need 24-hour care, we help with caregivers who are already taking care of their loved ones within the home to get paid for those services. We help with getting home delivered meals if maybe you need your meals are lacking and you're not able to get to the grocery store. We can have moms on wheels or meals on wheels delivered to your home to be able to get those services to get down that regular routine of eating, because unfortunately that's something that is also lost amongst our
Right.
elders, is being able to supply that for themselves. So those are the type of services that we offer. We offer adult day health as well for elderly to be able to go into a facility and be around other members in their community that have the same struggles, and being able to interact with them and be able to communicate and have fun with them. So there's a whole multitude of things that we're able to help with people get. But Medicaid is one of the things that are obviously a beast because you have to deal with the state and getting Medicaid approved and everything. So we like to be able to assist people as best as we can in that capacity as well.
Now we know dealing with the government, everything runs extremely slow. So how long does the process take usually from contact to approved of some sort?
Oh goodness, that's a loaded question. Well, there's two different programs that we're a part of. One of them
Okay.
is that people are already Medicaid approved, and if they're already Medicaid approved, it could take at least 90 days to be able to get the whole process from A to Z to where your services are beginning within the home. And that's because we have to make sure you meet the minimum level of care. And then our nurse has to come to your home and actually physically lay eyes on you and write up the assessment and see what type of services that you're requesting. And then we have to submit that assessment to the state for the state to review, and they can take 30 days to review it. And once they review it, then we're good to go and they can start services within the home. Yeah, so you're looking at least 90 days.
Now, with that 90 days, does that include your payment or you getting paid?
We don't get paid for that until they get approved. So if they don't get approved for services, we did all that work for nothing. So that's why we work really hard to get them approved the first time around.
Do you know ahead of time, kind of before you even submit, whether it's going to be approved? I mean, obviously, just doing it enough times.
Yeah, like I said, that pre-screening that we do, we confirm what kind of diagnoses that they have or what kind of functional impairments that they may have to be able to see whether or not they're going to get approved the first time around. But one of the things that we have to ask for ahead of time as well, and we don't get it a lot of times, but we ask for it, are for medical records to help support their diagnosis that their physician has written, their primary care physician. Because if their primary care physician is confirming all of that, our nurse is just basing off the assessment off of that, and then there's documented proof in multiple ways that this person has what they say that they have and everything.
Wow, sounds like a pretty extensive process. I mean,
it is, but we have to be extensive because people take advantage of Medicaid and there's a lot of fraud, and so we're also that defense layer that the state has to defend against that fraud, potential fraud and everything.
Even though they review it, and how often do they kind of like a bogus decline that should not have been declined? And
unfortunately, I would say probably about 20% of the time, it's like, okay, like, no, this person should have been, and then we go in and we advocate for the reason why they should have been, and that usually helps. But there are some times where people just get flat out denied, and the services aren't able to be accepted. And there's nothing
somebody can reapply for later if
they can reapply for it 90 days later. So there's like that 90 days is that magic number in the state's eyes with all of this. Is if you get denied, then you have to try again within 90 days because there's thousands and thousands of people applying for this program on a weekly basis. So there's just a continuous pipeline right now of people, because obviously people are getting older and we're at the boomer generation retiring. And so the more people retire, the more people are going to be needing these services, and it's only growing, especially in Georgia, as we're one of the faster growing states in the country right now as well.
Wow, that's incredible. Sounds like you guys are doing a heck of a job out there.
We're trying our best, Jeff. We're trying
That's
our best.
good. That's good, man. Well, y'all go visit secondchancecm.co. We're going to link it down below, obviously, too, along with his LinkedIn here. So, but I'm sure he'd probably rather you connect down there. So if you guys know of anybody that needs any home health care or any type of health care for elderly in the state of Georgia right now, reach out to him and see what he can offer for you. Sounds like he's got a plethora of services. Is there anything you want to leave us off of? Give a plug in for your company?
Yeah, no, I just appreciate it. Like I said, one of the things that we care most about is making people feel seen, cared, and heard. So we call ourselves Second Chance Case Management because it's my second chance of creating an opportunity for other people to be employed and be in a healthy environment where they feel appreciated and they feel cared for. And then it's a second chance for our members to be able to receive services and stay within their home and not out of the nursing home. So it's kind of a whole encompassing effect for all of us. And we just really pride ourselves in being intentional with people and loving on people, because we serve a generation that are a lot of times lost and people just overlook them. But there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge that we can receive from these people that we serve. And so I think that those are the things that separate us from others, because we just see people for who they are.
No, it's awesome. Jared, you got anything?
No, of course. Thanks for coming on to the episode. I worked in the healthcare, so I kind of understand where you're coming from that aspect. It's interesting to be able to talk to somebody that does like the home healthcare side and what that's able to offer people. So again, thanks for coming on and being insightful for sure.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Jeff.
Absolutely. When you guys get to expanding, we'd like to have you back on, and that way we can advertise you in other states and help try to get you going in other states.
Yeah, that would be great. That sounds good. We'll just keep up with my LinkedIn then, because I'll be posting it on there. I don't have any other social media, so that'd be the only way that you can find me. All right.
There it is. All right. Well, thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day, and wish you nothing but the best of success for you and your company.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great day.
You too, sir.
Welcome to the Business After Hours, where the ties loosen, the suit relax, and we talk business without the boardroom. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's dive into the world of business after hours.